still, cold world, no horizon in sight. The rulers of old, stripped of pride and glory. It feels as yesterday we were turning the wheels of progress, until the frost stopped it all, suddenly, without a warning. When tides had changed, they changed for all of us, no matter wealth or class. We've lost our world to snow, and with it, our last traces of humanity. We bid farewell to plenty, and for those who remained came the time to adapt. We decided to leave our homes and head north. We roamed for weeks, maybe months, leaving behind all the things we once believed had made us. It was hope pushed us forward, slowly, step by step. We knew the cost of our journey, and we paid the price 100 times. Finally, the time has come to build the last city on Earth.
Howdy folks, welcome back to Wannabe YT. I'm Barky, and today we're playing FROSTPUNK. The world has been hit by a great frost, civilizations have fallen, but a handful of us have successfully found some mysterious generator, although for some reason we found it frozen and unattended. Still, at least it's shelter. Better than that, it could be home. I mean, why survive when we can thrive in here? We could rebuild a society using the foundations of what we once believed in. We could build a utopia while learning from the mistakes of our part. Hang on, I'm getting carried away. I'm getting a bit carried away. I haven't even turned the generator on, let alone built homes. There are 80 survivors in this ditch, and they're gonna need food, they're gonna need shelter, and most importantly, they're gonna need heat. So we better get cracking while it's still a nice warm minus 20 degrees. That is our stockpile. We've already got some food stocks, 100 units of food, but we do need to convert this food into food rations in order to be eaten. Right, well we're going to need some resources, and thankfully we are kind of surrounded by them. Steel wreckage, wood crates, coal piles. Actually, let's send some people to the coal piles so that they can hurl those into the generator, get that powered up, and get ourselves some heat. The wood crates are quite important when building things like the hunter's hut I've just built. And, oh, what's this about? Housing problem, no roof over our heads. Captain, people are understandably concerned about the lack of shelter. I mean, makes sense, yeah. We're gonna need some more wood crates, but I'll provide some shelter, of course. We can't call ourselves a utopia if we can't even provide people with shelter, can we? Captain, when facing demands, remember this, people usually look for the quickest solution, not the best one. You don't have to agree to everything they say. And final message, the heating is off, the generator is off, people are afraid they'll freeze to death. That's because they probably would, it's minus 20 degrees, let's turn that on. There we go. The generator hums with reassuring warmth, but we shouldn't take it for granted. If the generator goes down, the city dies. Be mindful of coal reserves. Now, food. There'll be no city if we starve to death. Secure a way to provide food and build a cookhouse to prepare meals. One step ahead of you. I've already built the hunter's hut. But now, we need to build a cookhouse. Unfortunately, we're a bit low on wood, so it looks like we're gonna go hungry tonight. I didn't say it was immediately gonna be a utopia. Yeah, we're also lacking homes. People are sleeping on the ground. Well, at least the generator's on, so they're not gonna freeze to death. Okay, some of them are actually quite sick already. 4 people are sick. We're gonna need to build a medical center at some point. Still, the floor isn't comfortable, but it's not lethal either. Not round here, at least. Yeah, they've mentioned the number of sick. Okay, well, let's open the Book of Laws. The Book of Laws is basically the game's tech tree. There is a whole variety of options available to us, some of which are ethical, but kind of costly resource-wise, and some of them aren't ethical, but do save us a lot of resources. I'm going to sign the emergency shift, which I don't think they're going to like too much because it extends the work shift to 24 hours. But it's kind of essential in the early days, where we need to gather as many resources as possible. Towards the bottom of the screen, you'll notice 2 bars, discontent and hope. Discontent measures how angry the population is at you specifically, and you don't want that to get to the top because then they'll riot. And then hope measures their morale, whether they think they'll survive, whether they think it's worthwhile to even stick around here. You don't want that to reach 0. The failure of either of these bars almost invariably results in game over. So, fun. Right. Day 3, nighttime, still minus 20 degrees. The generator's running, so that's good, although I'm kind of juggling around, it's a bit of a mess, keeping it on constantly. But at least I'm in control of other factors. The hunter's hut is looking good. I fulfilled the shelter promise, so that's good. One step closer to utopia, although not everyone has a home yet, so that's still something we need to work on. I built a cookhouse so people aren't going hungry, and a workshop, which is the game's second technology tree. So, our objectives. Well, there's a whole load of things we can build to gain a more permanent source of materials, because as of yet we're kind of scraping things off the surface of the crater, and, well, there's only so much we can scrape off the surface. Eventually we're going to need to build some mining drills and woodcutters. We can also build better equipment, upgrade the generator, that one's a useful one. And, oh, hang on. Family torn apart. So a woman has come forward after we built the workshop. She said that her husband and daughter didn't reach the city with the main group, but she's sure they're still out there. She wants to join the first scout team we'll send out. Ah yes. Another thing the technology tree can unlock, the beacon, which will allow us to explore neighbouring areas. I don't know if that's something we can afford to do right now, because we're just barely surviving, and the temperature just dropped to minus 40 degrees. On top of that, 53 of our 80 inhabitants are going hungry. Now, there are 2 options we can do for this. One, we could add food additives, which means putting sawdust in our food. That's going to make people sick, and also that's a terrible idea. Or we could make soup, where we can feed more people with the same amount of raw materials, but, well, I don't know if people are going to appreciate eating soup every day. It's better than the alternative. Rome wasn't built in a day. We'll get you our utopia. Well, eventually. We've got a third problem on top of that, and that's healthcare. There are 15 people who are sick, and 2 people who are critically injured. I plan on dealing with this by building a medical hut. However, I do not have enough resources for a medical hut. And I suspect that's because some of my stashes have run out, so I'm going to send some people out to those wood crates, and maybe another steel wreckage site. But we better be quick, because sooner or later, things are going to turn ugly. First death. One of our people has just died. Sickness, accidents, and deadly cold will keep claiming lives in this harsh world. Now we need to figure out what to do with the body. Two options. Again, one is ethical, one isn't. We could build a cemetery, give them a dignified burial, or we could hurl their corpse into a ditch. Yeah, we're going to build a cemetery. I mean, not just yet. I need to wait 3 hours to sign the law, and then I need to build the thing, and I probably don't even have the resources for that. Things are starting to look really dire, so I've put in place another emergency shift. And that's really raising discontent. People are not happy. I've researched the steam hub, that's the positive. I think I might also research the heaters. That's going to give me greater control over which parts of the cities are heated and when, because many work sites just cease to function if it's not hot enough for people to safely work there, like the cookhouse. That would be problematic if it was the cookhouse. More people are dying. We're down to 75 people. This is bad. Alright, a new day. And it's getting warmer. Minus 30 degrees. I've also, as you can see on the right side of the screen, built a coal thumper, which is going to give us a much more stable income of coal, so it can keep the generator running for much longer. Coal isn't going to be a problem, long story short. And I've also built a generator so that the coal thumper stays functional, workers don't freeze to death while mining. Problem is, although coal and food isn't a problem, raw food is a problem. We're completely out. So, once we run out of our food rations, we are in trouble. I'm gonna have to deal with that. Also running low on wood, so I think I'm... Oh God, I need wood in order to research the sawmill to get wood. Which is problematic because so far we've only been relying on the wood crates and... well, there's only so much of those. The sawmill, that's going to give us a much more permanent source of wood. Well, not entirely permanent, but more permanent than a bunch of crates lying around. The good news is the housing crisis has kind of gone away, partly because a lot of people died, and partly because I've built more tents. But the biggest problem I still have is healthcare. There are 40 civilians who are sick, and 11 of them who are critically injured. And we only have 67 civilians left, so that's not great. And I've failed to fulfill my healthcare promise. I was promising to build another medical post. Discontent has risen and hope has fallen. Work is needed. There's so much to do and not enough hands to do it. A quick way of addressing this problem is to put our children to work. Oh my god. Of course. Right, yeah, that is the problem. Because not only are there only 67 people left to man a giant mining drill, a cookhouse, and a hunter's hut, but some of them are children, which means that they can't even work. I could allow child labour, which would solve this problem, but that is also the very definition of evil. So instead, I'm going to go for the other option, which is child shelters. We're going to keep them safe and indoors during the long work days. It's going to raise hope, and possibly even reduce discontent, but it might cause problems down the line regarding the workforce. Oh, and the healthcare promise was fulfilled. Things are starting to look up. Don't mind the fighting arena, you know, people need entertainment somehow. Let's build that child shelter. Let's build it there, because there's already a road there. And... it might... does it need a steam hub? How good is the insulation on that? Ooh, someone else has died. And there you go, the child shelter's built. Jolly good. That's going to be popular. Yeah, it's raised hope. Right. The next ethical leap forward I want to take are the ceremonial funerals, because I've already signed them off cemeteries and I've built a cemetery, but it's still quite bare bones. Let's give those dead the respect they deserve. Ah, right. It needs to be adjacent to a road, and I haven't built enough of those yet. Okay, yeah, all that talk about ethics, and I've just built the cemetery adjacent to the child shelter. Yep, nailed it. Oh dear. Right, well, some time has passed, and things are looking up. I mean, we still have a big medical problem. I think I might build a third medical post to try and deal with this. But otherwise, things aren't doing too badly. Researching a sawmill. Oh, someone died. Oh, 2 died. Another... Okay, well that's suboptimal, but as soon as we deal with the healthcare, we'll be... Promise broken. You promised people warmth. You broke your... I think the generator's still... Oh no, the temperature's dropping! Oh dear me. Alright, it's fine, it's fine. We've dealt with minus 40 before. Oh god, the news is not looking good. We're down to 47 civilians and we're still losing people. And we're out of coal. Oh my god. How did things get so bad so quick? 3 people died. Captain, we found a boy frozen to the bone near the cemetery near a fresh grave. He must have been there for hours. He wanted to call an emergency meeting. He says that if you agree, his mother will wake up to attend it. If that's not the most depressing thing I've heard all day, I don't know what is. Oh, and the counter's still going. Of course the counter's still going. Oh! Oh, but the sawmill's been researched. That's nice. What? Didn't you just see what happened? I needed something to lift my spirits. In other news, we've built the beacon. There it goes. That's going to give us hope. Not that there's much left. I don't even think we've got enough people to go on an expedition without everything falling apart. And there's the world around us. Lost expedition. People moving, and there's some sort of crash site. Interesting. Right, well, let's focus on fixing our city as of yet, because we're down to, oh my god, there are 35 people left. Urgent need for treatment. You don't blimmin' say. Worst part is I can't even promise that the sick will be treated because the engineers, the people who I can assign to treat the sick, got sick and died. Right, well the generator's back up and running. We've lost even more people, but at least the generator is back up and running. Oh my god. It's so cold still. And the generator's run out of fuel. The only thing we had a lot of, coal, we've run out of. And it's not even for the reason you think. The coal thumper stopped working because the pile of coal adjacent to the coal thumper was full. But I don't have enough people to carry the coal from the huge pile of coal to the generator, and so the generator runs out of fuel. I don't have enough people to operate the medical stations. Well, I've just about got enough people to keep on top of the food supply. There's no one collecting wood anymore. And my workshop isn't even fully staffed, so you can't even research new technology to save us. Things are really not looking good. I don't think this utopia is going to happen in the end. We're out of coal again. That bell just won't stop ringing, will it? Now the generator's shut down. And it's minus 40 degrees. Jolly good. People are still dying. Not as many people are dying as before, though. Probably because the cold has run out of people to kill. That being said, since most people who are unhappy died, discontent has dropped. But so has hope. Well, then again, I don't blame them. I think I've kind of lost hope in this settlement. No, come on. We can still salvage this, maybe. We just need more staff to operate everything. I've sent a scout team looking for the rest.
Get to work. Move, people.
Oh?
There's plenty to do.
Oh no. The search for other cities, man from Winterhome. We found an exhausted man at the edge of our city. He said that he came from Winterhome, a settlement located not far from here, and that he was the last survivor. This man just showed up on our front door, said Winterhome is dead, everyone's dead, there's no hope of survival in this wasteland, we're all doomed, and that we should escape. And then he died. This is gonna be a massive blow on our already non-existent hope, isn't it? Honestly, making a run for it might be our best move right now. We're so understaffed right now. There's probably more people in the crowd of that pre-rendered cutscene than there are in this city right now. Winterhome has fallen. People start to gather as the news of the fate of Winterhome spreads through the city. Some of them want to drop everything and flee to London. Panic is starting to spread. Our job now is to rally them, using either order and discipline or faith and spiritual strength. Well, I am a sucker for science, but I should probably go for religion, because it raises hope, and we really need that right now. I'm also going to build a house of prayer, and hopefully that might just about save our bacon. Oh my god, the heating's off again. What is it now? Do you want to know? The unconvinced want to leave. Say that faith will save us? Nonsense, what are we going to do? Pray for food when we start to starve? If we don't try to reach London, we'll end up like Winterhome. Yeah, actually, you should probably just leave, let's be honest. Oh my god. Londoners, the people are divided, some of them are scared they want to leave and some of them want to stay. Well, as much as I want to join the Londoners and make a run for it, I should probably make an effort to try and fix this place. And that starts with a church. Because I've just run out of other ideas. Hope has fallen so low that I need to convince the people to trust me again. Well, that depends on how quickly we can build this church. I can also turn the generator on. That could buy me some time, but will it be enough? A band of grim men escorts me under the generator. The waiting crowd is silent. People observe as I pass, their faces blank, as though they were watching snowfall. I am summarily judged and spared the death sentence in recognition of my efforts. I am banished from the city instead. I did my best.